My name is Tracy O'Malley, and I'm the Executive Director of the Plus Group. We want to thank you for taking the time to join us today for the Plus Group webinar series. Today's topic is 4 strategies to double your DI production in 2016. And our presenter today is Chris Carlson, the DI coach. All lines will be muted during this webinar. If you'd like to ask a question, please go to your question pane on the control panel and just type it in. We'll answer the questions at the end of the webinar. There will be a time for Q&A. Also note that we are recording this webinar. You will be sent a link which will include the audio as well as the presentation in a follow-up email, and you should have that by tomorrow. It usually takes 24 hours for that email to be sent out. Okay, everybody, thanks again for being here, and I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Chris Carlson.
Tracy, thanks so much, and thanks for everybody for taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule to join us today on the webinar. It's always a pleasure to be talking to producers of the Plus Group. And so, again, the concept today is, hey, how are we going to write more disability insurance in 2016? And I want to give you 4 strategies that I really believe that can help you double your DI production in 2016. Now, one of the questions we always get from presenters is, hey, can I have a copy of your slides? Happy to give you a copy of my slides. If you have your smartphone there, just take it out and text your email address to 206-900-8536, and I'll be happy to send you a copy of the slides that we're going over today. And then also I'll send you a white paper entitled 21 Questions You Need to Ask About Disability Insurance. And the you in that title is looking at it through the lens of your clients or your prospects. So it's questions that they would ask about disability insurance. In that particular white paper, it's not copyrighted. You can take my name off, put your name on. You can add, delete. Please use it. What we want to do is just to get more producers talking about income protection with their clients and prospects. So what I will do at the end of the presentation, I will bring this number back up if you want to wait to decide if you actually want a copy of my presentation, but that phone number again, 206-900-8536. Okay, so let's go ahead and kick this off. And here's what I know. If you currently are writing disability insurance, is on average producers write about 2 disability insurance apps per year. So if I'm going to help the vast majority of the people in the disability insurance world write and double their production, all I have to do is get them to write 4 DI apps per year. But here's my challenge to you. You obviously are interested in writing more disability insurance, or you would not be on this webinar. Here's what I want you to be thinking. I want you to be thinking, I want to write 1 DI app per month. Now, here's what I know. There are producers out there who spend the overwhelming majority of their time working with prospects and clients that are at or near retirement. Probably, not the best candidates for disability insurance. But if you fall into the category that a lot of your prospects and clients do depend on their current income to maintain their current lifestyle and also to put away money for retirement, is then you are going to have tremendous opportunities to have conversations with prospects and clients regarding the need to protect their income. And so what I want to do is share with you 4 strategies that you can use that I believe are incredibly easy. You can start implementing them as soon as we get off this webinar. You just have to make the choice if you're committed to doing it. Okay, even if you're a big hitter, if you're already writing a lot of disability insurance, I have an idea for you. So don't think that this is just going to be the basics of the basics. So whether you're writing very little DI or you're a big hitter in the DI world, I'll have an idea for you today. So strategy number 1 is I believe that you need to focus on your top 20 clients. My experience is that when you run across a new idea, a new concept, that the easiest people to talk to about it are your top clients. Otherwise, they wouldn't be your top clients. Now, when I'm talking about top 20 clients, I'm going to go back to something I said earlier. I'm talking about those clients that depend upon their current income to maintain their lifestyle and save for retirement. So I realize some of your current clients might be at or near retirement. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about those top 20 clients that do need to protect their income. And here's all you have to do to start getting organized to take advantage of this strategy is take a piece of paper just like this, and in the left-hand column, list those top 20 clients. And across the top, write out DI, BOE, business overhead expense, disability buy sell, disability key person, and then start filling out this particular sheet. Now, what I mean by that is obviously there's going to be some people on this list that don't have a need for BOE, buy sell, or key person. So just put in NA. Maybe you've already sold them, so put a check mark that you've already done that. My experience is that unless you really are a true DI professional, when people go through this exercise, they're going to create anywhere from 10 to 20 opportunities just by going through this exercise. And since these people are your best client, they're easy to reach out to and say, you know what, one thing we've yet to talk about in the planning process, be it if you're doing financial planning or risk management planning or whatever type of planning that you do, is I want to make sure that we have this conversation to make sure you are covered. And if you do that, and what I have seen producers that take advantage of a sheet of paper like this is people are writing between 3 and 10 applications over the next 60 to 90 days. Well, based upon the averages that I told you, we are going to now double production. So often is that when we're looking for ideas, we're looking for pixie dust or the secret sauce, and really it's the blocking and tackling that's going to help us write more business, and in this case, double our DI production. So just take this sheet right here, strategize, go through your top 20 clients, and you will be amazed at how many opportunities you've just created for conversations to talk to people about income protection. Now, strategy number 2 is what I call the Yellow Pad Club. Now, the Yellow Pad Club was something that was introduced to me by the late Mike Gusker, a real pioneer in the disability insurance world. And what this Yellow Pad Club really is what you're going to do is you're going to have a yellow pad, and your marketing representative from your Plus Group office is going to have a yellow pad. Now, if you happen to be working with a Plus Group office it's in your local geographic area, possibly you're going to meet in the conference room or meet over coffee or meet over lunch, where you are going to bring your respective yellow pads. Now, if for some reason that you do business with a Plus Group office where you're located a long ways away and you don't routinely get together, then maybe this is going to be over the phone or in a Skype call. But basically, each of the two parties are going to bring a yellow pad. And so you as the producer are going to write down who you're going to be meeting with over the next 30 days that it would make sense to talk to about income protection. Your Plus Group marketing representative is going to take all the notes, is going to get the vitals so they can run a proposal, so they can get back to you, so you can have that proposal ready for when you go meet that person. But there's also something very important that happens in that Yellow Pad Club meeting, is you're also going to role play and strategize. So you can, maybe talk with your Plus Group partner and ask, hey, how do you overcome this objection? Or how do I best construct a particular plan for this individual or this company or this business? So it's a great time to use that meeting, if you will, to strategize, to role play, and if you're relatively new to the income protection world, to really get a little bit more training, right there with an expert, either face-to-face or over the phone or through possibly a Skype-type call. So take advantage of this opportunity. Now, imagine for a second that every single month you're meeting with this person and you're talking about who you're going to be meeting with for the next 30 days. Imagine the impact that that's going to have on your production. And then when you get into months number 2, 3, and 4, what your Plus Group partner is going to do is going to hold you accountable for and ask you, how did the meetings go with the people that we ran quotes for over the last 30 days? What were the results of those meetings? What was the good, bad, and the ugly? What can we learn from those conversations? So just imagine if you were to spend, and let's say those meetings were an hour for the sake of argument, of over the next 12 months that you commit to 12 hours of these types of meetings and you're focused, on your prospects and clients, how much more disability insurance you would be able to sell just by basically slowing down, taking a few moments, and brainstorming with your Plus Group partner to be able to sell more disability insurance. So, and now before I go on to strategy number 3, this process has become so popular that Assurity, which does a great job in the middle market space, has actually created their own Yellow Pad Club. So if you're interested in a binder that allows you to come to these meetings prepared, pre-printed forms, is you can just ask your Plus Group office to get you a copy of the Assurity DI Yellow Pad Club binder, if you will, and they can have that so you can bring those to your meeting. So strategy number 3 is what I call Monday morning DI Java. And what this really entails is taking a look at who you're already scheduled to meet with. Because one of the challenges that I hear over and over and over again from producers is, Chris, I can't take the time to go out and divert from what I'm currently doing to focus on disability insurance. Okay, I get that. But here's what I want you to do in strategy number 3, Monday morning DI Java. What I'd like for you to do is every Monday morning, the first thing is when you are drinking your cup of coffee, you're drinking your cup of tea, or whatever your beverage of choice is, just take a look at your calendar and determine who are you already seeing. And think to yourself, who am I already scheduled to see this week that I need to talk to regarding the need to protect their income? And it could be disability insurance, business overhead expense, disability by sale, key person, maybe it's a multi-life opportunity, but you're already scheduled to see them. And then, so the next thing that you do, once you've determined, and let's just say for the sake of argument, as I look at my calendar, I'm going to be doing a review with my client, Tracy O'Malley. And you know what? For whatever reason, I've never talked to Tracy about, disability insurance. Well, what I should then do is I should send Tracy something. It could be an article, it could be a link to a video, it could be a marketing piece from a carrier, and I just send Tracy an email and say something like, Tracy, looking forward to seeing you on Thursday. Take a look at this and let's discuss on our meeting on Thursday. Now, what you have then done is you're now prompting that conversation. So when I show up to my meeting on Thursday with Tracy, obviously I have other things I'm going to talk to her about, but early on in the conversation, I'm going to say, hey, Tracy, by the way, did you get a chance to take a look at the blank, whether it's an article, the video, marketing piece, whatever it happens to be, that I sent you on Monday on income protection? And Tracy's going to say one of two things. She's going to say yes, and my next question is, Tracy, when you look at the article, what was going through your mind? And then we now have started a conversation regarding disability insurance or BOE or buy-sell, whatever it happens to be. If for some reason Tracy said, oh, Chris, it's been a crazy week, I didn't get a chance to look at it, all I can do is then say, well, Tracy, I certainly understand, but had you looked at it, here are the 3 things that would have jumped out at you. So in that strategy, I can't lose whether Tracy looks at it or doesn't look at it. I'm into a conversation regarding income protection. And I promise you, if you take care of your top 20 clients, and then you do the Yellow Pad Club, and then you do the Monday morning DI Java, if you do some form of those 3 things, there's no question in my mind that you're going to double your DI production. But I know there's some people on here who really want to knock it out of the park. They're saying, okay, Chris, is there something else I can do that's going to make me sell, just an incredible amount of disability insurance in 2016? And there is. And it's a strategy that I call the broker's broker. And some of you may have heard the strategy. Some of you may have listened to people out there who are, in effect, a broker's broker. But let me give you an example of what you can do with a broker's broker. And really what that is you're doing joint work with agents and producers who are currently not selling disability insurance. So let me give you some numbers just to play with, and then we'll talk about how you can get into the conversation. So imagine for a second that you knew 10 producers that are willing to refer you, and it would produce 1 app a year. So they would refer you to their clients. You're the disability insurance expert. You go and talk to that person. It's joint work, and you sell them disability insurance. Now, then also you have 10 brokers that can get you 1 app a quarter. and then you found 4 brokers who could get you 1 app a month. Well, I'm not a math major, but what that adds up to is 98 apps a year, and that's going to produce over $250,000 of annual premium based upon the average disability policy that's sold in the country today. Now, look, maybe you don't know 24 brokers to take this to, but just do just do the math, and let's just say the number was 10. Fill in those blanks. My point is this: by being the DI expert, by going to other producers who you have relationships with, either because they're in your office, they're part of your study group, they're in your community, whatever the situation is, you become the DI expert. You can generate an incredible amount of premium, and at the same time, make sure that these people are protected. Now, people often say, okay, Chris, that's a great idea, but how do I get into the conversation with possibly a friend of mine or somebody that I know that would make them want to refer their clients to me? And what I do is I call it the 3 circles. So I'm going to pick on Tracy again. Let's just pretend for a second that Tracy is a producer in my agency who has a great book of business. She's very successful, but she just hasn't spent any time selling disability insurance. Really, it's not her cup of tea. She doesn't want to do it. And my conversation with Tracy would sound something like this. Tracy, I have an idea for you, and I'd like to break it down into 3 circles, because in reality, your clients fall into one of the following 3 circles when it comes to disability insurance. Either you are going to talk to your clients and prospects about the need to protect their income, some other broker is going to talk to them about the need to protect their income, or nobody's going to talk to them about the need to protect their income. Now, Tracy, I know how much you care about your clients, and I know you would never want any of your clients to become hurt or sick, lose their income, and then just absolutely have a catastrophic financial situation. So let's just take the red circle out of the equation for a second. Now, I know I've known you for 8 years, Tracy, and you just, for whatever reason, decided not to sell disability insurance. So that means that somebody else is going to be talking to your prospects and clients about the need to protect their income. I'd like to propose a solution. Why don't I become that somebody else? I'll be the person that will talk to your clients and your prospects regarding the need to protect their income. And our agreement is I'm not going to talk to them about anything else. I'm not going to talk about life insurance or investments or group medical insurance. I'm just going to be, the disability insurance expert. And I really think, Tracy, that it's going to be a win-win. Your client wins because now they have disability insurance. You win because we can share in the commission, and I win because I make money by selling this particular product. So my question for you, Tracy, is what type of sense does it make for us to go down this road together? Now, that's you can wordsmith that any way that you want, but I promise you, and Tracy can confirm this, is we know people that are affiliated with Plus Group offices across the country that are doing in excess of $250,000 a year using this model right here. They're the disability insurance expert. They're the broker's broker, if you will. They don't have to prospect for that end user. They have producers that are actually bringing opportunities to them. All they have to do is share in their expertise, and everybody wins. So if you are already a disability insurance expert and you want to take your practice to the next level where you're going to do tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of disability insurance premium in a given year, this is one of the absolute best ways that you can do that. And again, since most producers are not selling disability insurance, there is literally all kinds of opportunities for you to start having conversations with other producers. Some people you already know, some people you're going to get to know and be their disability insurance expert. So one of the things I want to make available to you if you're interested is I have a program called the Income Protection QuickStart Program, and what that is 19 online modules that talks about product underwriting and sales. Normally that retails for $197. If something you're interested in through the Plus Group, you can get that for $47. And those modules, those videos last anywhere between 4 and 10 minutes. Once you go to www.thedicoach.net, click on the box that says Income Protection QuickStart Program, If you go check out, enter the code TPG, and you have the ability to purchase that for $47. And so just for those of you who are interested, take advantage of that. So what we talked about today was 4 strategies to double your DI production. Number 1, make sure you're talking to your top 20 clients. And by the way, you are one of your top 20 clients. You have to make sure that your DI program is up to date if you expect to sell very much disability insurance. We talked about the Yellow Pad Club, where you are going to sit down with your Plus Group marketing partner and review the upcoming 30 days and review the past 30 days. And it's going to be a great opportunity to be held accountable and to also be coached up on how to be more effective in the conversations. As we talked about Monday morning DI Java, where you're taking a look at your upcoming week and who you should be talking to regarding the need to protect their income and send them something. And then we also talked about the brokers concept if you want to take your practice to the next level. So again, if you want a copy of my slides and the white paper, 21 questions you need to ask about disability insurance, just simply text your email address to 206-900-8536. And my contact information, chris@thedicoach.net, and my website is thedicoach.net. So Tracy, with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, and if we have any questions, I'm happy to answer them before we sick these people on the world to sell a whole bunch of disability insurance and double their DI production.
Great. Thanks, Chris. Again, if you have any questions, just type them in at the question pane on your control panel. And go ahead and type in any questions, and Chris can address them. Well, Chris, I think you did such a good job. Again, if you have any questions, you can type them in, or if you think of some questions later, feel free to contact any of our Plus Group offices. Oh, we have a question here. Can you show the text number again?
Chris? I certainly could.
Okay. And also the text for the PowerPoint. Yeah, this is what that will. This is the presentation. Right.
Yep.
And also, you will be getting a link, like I said, emailed to you within 24 hours, which will be the whole presentation. You'll hear Chris's voice and have the presentation there as well. And then, like I said, Chris said you can go ahead and text in his email address there, and he'll send you the presentation itself.
Yeah, and Tracy, my challenge to the people who are on the call is, I mean, they have great partners in the respective Plus Group offices, so make sure they reach out and have a conversation regarding an idea or two that they picked up today and really lean on that Plus Group office to help them double their DI production.
Agreed. And email address again for you, Chris. Go to the other slide, please. There you go.
Very simple, Chris, at thedicoach.net.
Another question. When you're a broker's broker, what kind of commission sharing do you do, if any?
That's a really, really good question, and what I have seen, it's all over the board. Again, you have to do what you think is right based upon other joint work that you have done, but I will tell you what I would do. If you are really going to become that true disability insurance professional, and you're going to do all the heavy lifting. You're going to do the heavy lifting in convincing somebody to do something. You're going to shepherd it through underwriting. You're going to make sure you're going to take care of that particular client, throughout their working career. My experience is that you keep all the renewals and you pay a higher split on the first year. So let me give you an example. Let's just say theoretically that the average commission for a disability policy is 50%. Some people would say, okay, Tracy, let's split it 50-50, which would be 25%. If I were the broker, I would say, Tracy, I'm going to give you a much larger percentage up front, but since I'm going to do all the heavy lifting, I'm going to be the one monitoring that contract in the future. I'll pay you 70 or 80% of the 50, okay, and then I'm going to keep the renewals. So again, the way I would say that would be different than what I talked about here on the webinar, but I think it's to your advantage if you are truly going to be a broker that you keep the renewals, because that's really going to help your income. Now, having said that, I do know people that split, either 50-50 or sometimes 75-25 on the app. I just think it's to your advantage just to control that business and collect all the renewals.
Great. Another question from Bob. He is in a P&C agency, and their mentality is narrow. What have you done in this area to change their thinking?
Yeah, Bob, there is no question that that can certainly be a challenge. And the way that I approach it, especially if I have great relationships with those P&C producers, and I'm going to make the assumption, Bob, that you're doing some commercial P&C, and whether that's small businesses or larger businesses, is all of your P&C brethren sell business interruption insurance. So obviously, if the building burns down or is destroyed, on a flood or a hurricane or whatever, that the insurance company is going to come in and pay a monthly benefit until the business is up and running. So my question is always, what happens if the business owner burns down? In this case, becomes disabled. Where's that monthly income going to come from? And so I challenge my P&C partners to say, why don't we do this? Why don't you put together your normal quote that you show now for business interruption, and on the bottom of that page, we put in a line item, personal business interruption insurance. And what that is a business overhead expense policy. The good news, tax deductible to all business entities, protects their business. The premium's typically cheaper than a DI policy because we don't have the long benefit periods. So that's a great way, is again, just to talk to them about business interruption insurance, but in this case, it's personal business interruption insurance.
Great. Anything else? Anybody else? Please feel free to type your question in, and Chris will address it. And Chris, I think you did a fantastic job. Thank you so much, and thanks everyone for sitting in today. Again, if you have any questions, please contact your local Plus Group office, and please check out our website at www.plusgroupus.com for more information and for future webinars. Again, thank you, Chris, for your time, and thank you, everybody, for attending today's webinar. Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks.